Hello all and welcome, and I am the MGTOW philosopher. And it's time again for a video reply. And in this video, I am replying to one Amy Horton, a fake redhead who I've made a couple of videos about because she is a writer, a so-called prominent voice in the feminist community, and a woman who is totally clueless and is spreading disinformation about men, of course, and constantly moaning and whining about why she can't find a man and how it's always men's fault. It's never a woman's fault. It's never her fault. It's always their fault. The men need to change. Not sure exactly what this woman's job is as she posts these crappy articles for what appears to be an online rag of dubious note that I've never heard of. Wouldn't be surprised if she was a waitress or a bartender. She claims to be a former actress. I look at her picture. I've never seen her in anything. I don't know who she is. Maybe she was a former actress in high school or something. In high school production skits of like The Crucible or some crap like that. Anyway, in this article, she says, I've gotten blown off by men so much lately that I'm literally questioning everything. Yeah, unfortunately, she's asking the wrong questions. She's not really, doesn't seem to be questioning herself and her own 43-year-old hotness. She's so hot. She's sizzling. She's just questioning, I don't know what she's questioning, really. She seems to say the same old things over and over again. She doesn't seem to be doing any questioning of her own hotness, which is non-existent at this point. And let's see what she has to say. And she lists a whole bunch of things that essentially blame men. I used to think my problem was that I wasn't trying to date. Well, that's true, honey. You're not really trying to date. You're going out with guys with this laundry list of expectations you have, and then you're essentially dismissing them almost as quickly as you meet them because some little tiny thing comes up that doesn't fit into your feminist ideology. But I've met with a rude awakening. I opened up to the possibility of meeting a man by actually putting myself out there. Oh, so what? You put yourself out there and you're still an impossible person to get along with your feminism and your man-hating. And all I've gotten in return is a whole lot of rejection. Ooh, you can't handle it, can you, honey? You see, rejection is something that men would deal with on a daily basis. We get rejected hundreds, thousands of times in our lives. We learn to deal with it. Suck it up, buttercup. Here's why I'm feeling totally hopeless. Aha. I can't even get a date out of a guy. Sure you could, honey. If you would lower your standards to actually date human beings and not gods and angels and stuff like that. I thought, okay, I'll go on dates and see if there's any chemistry. I'll be open to different kinds of men, but you're not open. As we know from your prior articles, you are not open. You think most men are losers. They have to jump through a bunch of hoops. Oh, but you're open to anything. But you're not. Good Lord. Okay, I'll be open to different kinds of men. Can't know what works unless I try. She's a horrible writer, by the way, people. This is why I believe she's probably working as a waitress or a cocktail hostess or some crap like that. That might be a good way to approach dates if I got any. If you got any. You're 43 years old, honey. You're lucky if you get a date, or anything else for that matter. I seriously can't find a guy who will follow through long enough to even ask me out. Uh-huh. And this is a recent phenomenon, right? Because you're a 43-year-old broad who dyes her hair to hide all the gray, and you've got junk in the trunk, even though you wouldn't want to admit it, and your cooch is all stretched out, and you're wondering, why I can't get a man? It's legitimately depressing. Okay, you're feeling totally hopeless because you can't get a date. It's a legitimate reason to feel hopeless. Number two, the dating scene is getting worse and worse. Okay. So what? What does that mean exactly? If I had known a few years ago that things would deteriorate to this level, I would have found me a good man and locked him down. Oh, you see? Now, first of all, I don't believe this, okay? I think she's living in fantasy land. A few years ago, she would have been 40. If she thinks she was going to find a good man and lock him down, I think she's living in fantasy land. At the same time, if she did find a good man, What she's saying is she just threw him away. Look at this. So she's essentially, it's a 40-year-old woman who's so clueless that she's riding the cock carousel at the age of 40. At the age of 40, and she's admitting right here, she could have, she's saying anyway, I think this is delusion on her part. She thinks she could have found a good man and locked him down. Lock him down how? This is, by the way, this reinforces everything that I've said about women. They want to lock a man down by having his baby. That's the only way you can lock a man down, honey. So she would have had a kid, some guy's kid. I see. She goes on to say, I had no idea that Tinder would come about and swiftly create the demise of good old-fashioned romance. Babe, there wasn't ever any good old-fashioned romance. It was just a bunch of white knight wimps catering to women by pulling out chairs, opening doors, and stuff like that. There was no real life romance. It was just guys paying your bills, and now you've got some form of equality, and you don't like it. Women don't want equality. They want superiority. They only want equality when it's convenient for them. I hate this new dating world I live in. I want nothing more than to destroy all dating apps. So it would raise your sexual marketplace value. Right. Less demand, so it would be easier for you to find some man at your ripe old age of 43. But ripe, she's rotten fruit at this point. And the awful way that they've ruined actual interactions. Yeah, that's the blame. Sure. You want to blame dating apps. I mean, yeah, okay. It has made it easier for men to get laid. So for women like her, men aren't going to put up with her crap. That's really what it is. Men don't want to put up with your crap, honey, okay? So women like you who basically make men have to deal with a lot of crap, yeah, it's going to be difficult for you to find a man now. But if you were a nice woman, and you had something to offer and you brought something to the table, you'd still have no problem getting dates. Of course, you would have been married by now, so that's a moot point, I guess. Number 3, there's so many available options that guys don't try at all. Isn't that kind of what you did for the past 43 years? Or how many, let's say since the age of 14. Let's just say for the past 30 years you've been dating. Probably started dating at 12 or 13. And you've gotten your way. You've had all the options you wanted. Because if we go back, let's say, 20 years, you were probably a 6, a 7 with fake up on. And 7s with fake up, even with fake up, can get a lot of guys. And it's very easy for you. Just spread your legs and say, come here. And you got all the cocks you want lined up, ready to do the job. And you just have to lay there like a refrigerator and do nothing. Now, you're maybe a 5 with fake up. You're a 4 without fake up. And suddenly, the guys aren't lined up anymore. And of course, you want to blame everything else except yourself. Okay. It's like they're sitting there with a huge menu in front of them. Isn't that you? Wasn't that you as a woman? This is also interesting. She basically wheels out all these tropes that apply for men in regards to how they view women. Okay? Women have always had a huge menu lined up in front of them, and hot chicks still do have a huge menu lined up in front of them. Honey, the problem is you're not a hot chick anymore. And I guess a 7, I don't know if that would be considered hot, but moderately hot even. You're not hot anymore. You're old and washed up. You used to have a huge menu. Now you don't have a huge menu anymore. And you're saying men now have some kind of huge menu. Well, deal with it. Not that we actually do. I think in 12% of the time women swipe right with the Tinder or something. And most of the time they swipe left. And something like 80% of the time men swipe right. I mean, women are still unbelievably picky. Okay, so the honest to God's truth is men are not getting laid all that much more with Tinder than they were without it. Maybe a little more, but not that much more. I mean, if you add up all the different dating apps, it's a little more, but not really that much. So the truth is that what you're complaining about is not the problem. The problem is you're old. Huge menu in front of them, and it's so overwhelming that they can't decide what to eat. You're talking about yourself. You're talking about yourself. Women are the ones who always had a huge menu. Men have never had the pick of the litter, okay? If they try me out and I'm not immediately to their liking, they move on. He said, you're talking about yourself. At this point, she is projecting. This is what people who are totally lacking in self-awareness do when they can't figure out why they're having problems. They start projecting, okay? It's just a natural thing to do, and it's their psyche trying to present them, to tell them what present them with the problem, tell them what the problem actually is, that the problem is just bubbling up under the surface. It's yearning to get out. It's like a pressure cooker that's overpressured. And so you start projecting outward what the actual problem is. It's boiling within. And the problem is that you toss guys aside when they're not immediately to their liking. You move on quickly to the next guy. You get a huge menu, and you were never able to make a decision about which guy you would actually want. So you just kept picking, because it's so wonderful to have this huge variety. And why lock myself down? As she said before, why lock myself down with one guy when I have this amazing, wonderful smorgasbord of men to choose from? And now you don't have those choices anymore, and you're bemoaning the fact that you've lost that huge menu. She's stating the problems that she has very clearly, but projecting them onto men. You are pathetic, honey. You're a pathetic loser. There's no need for effort, and it's sickening. That's how it used to be with you, honey. Now you're just bemoaning the fact that you no longer have it easy. Of course, they blow me off. They barely even think of me as a human being. I'm just another face on a screen. You like to think that, but that's not the case. It turns out that men have it just as hard on Tinder as they do everywhere else. The women just blow them off on Tinder as well. You're just looking for excuses because you don't want to face the awful truth that you're old, that you're not that attractive anymore, that you were never really a great catch, that men only got with you in the first place because you were semi-hot and a decent lay. And because American women are such fat blobs that any woman that's a 6 or a 7, well, geez Louise, imagine that. She's a hot commodity. Yeah, because 2/3 of the population are blobs. You dumb broad. Oh, here we go. Now she's starting to be more honest, but she's still in denial because, oh no, this isn't the problem. Men constantly decide I'm too much work. Well, there you go. Men are telling you what the problem is, honey. Aren't women always saying it? Women are always telling you you've got this problem, you probably got this problem. Well, babe, men are constantly telling you got a problem, but you're not listening. Because I have needs and feelings. Oh, yeah, that's the problem. Your needs and feelings are the problem. That's why we blow you off. Not because you are a bitch. Not because you are a nasty cunt hoe who is demanding all these things from us and you're not bringing anything to the table. Oh, no, that's not the problem. The man is the problem. And I'm not some accommodating robot. Well, we don't want you to be an accommodating robot, honey, but we would like you to be a little accommodating. I'm too much trouble to bother with. Well, there you go. There you go. You just summed it up in a nutshell. You're a 4. You think she's a 7. And you're acting as if you're a 7 and you expect men to put up with your crap. Men only put up with crap from hot chicks, not old maids who have to color their hair to hide the gray. There's so many options online that they can... Look at this. She's just constantly deflecting and creating excuses. No. If you're gold, people buy you. If you're fake gold, they don't. Listen, honey, let me be honest with you, as I always am. Okay? You are too much work. Men don't want you because you're too much work. They're tossing you aside not because there's so many other easy-to-get options out there, because those options are just as difficult to get online as they are to get in person. Women get thousands and thousands of hits on Tinder. Men get like 5, okay? You're living in fantasy land. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. Just wishful thinking on your part. There's so many options online. Yeah. That they can easily find some girl who doesn't require anything of them. Not easily at all, really. It turns out women on Tinder are just as difficult as women are in the real world. I avoid all the douchebags by refusing to let go of my standards. Wait. Every other article, I've read other articles by her where she said she got rid of her standards or she lowered her standards and she was willing to accept anything. Well, of course, this just totally proves the point I've made already, that she is in no way willing to let go of her standards. She never has. She never will. She's just in denial, and she just says whatever she has to say to write whatever article hits her fancy at that particular moment. Whatever suits her fancy at that moment. Oh, I'm going to write an article about how I'm giving up my standards and I still can't find a man, and it's men's fault. Of course, the truth is, honey, you haven't lowered your standards at all, and that's why you can't find a man. I avoid all the douchebags where I refuse to let go of my standards, but I'm getting rejected by so many men that it's starting to screw with my head. Right. But you still are living in a world of cognitive dissonance where you don't see the truth. That you're a difficult pain in the ass that nobody wants to be around because you're old, you're not attractive, and you have a horrible personality and you hate men. Number 5, I demand common courtesy, therefore I'm considered a pain in the ass. Now let's read this and notice she doesn't say what she means by common courtesy. Women must have horribly low standards these days. No, they don't have to have horribly low standards. They just have to have realistic standards. What you consider horribly low standards is just a woman being realistic and not overvaluing herself like, say, somebody who ratchets themselves up at least 3 points on the sexual marketplace value scale. Because guys are always shocked when I want them to give me respectful treatment. Of course, what she means by respectful treatment is pay for me, open my doors, pull out my chairs, open my car door, let me go in first, stuff like that. Yes, if you want the pleasure of my company, I expect you to plan a date. Doesn't have to be fancy, but at least come up with something. Right, she wants to be treated special. You have to do something special. You have to take her out to somewhere special. And of course, it's still not enough because I've seen videos where this woman essentially blows a guy off because he says that he would hire attractive women in sales jobs because sex sells. And the guy was great looking, she says, and made lots of money, but she stopped seeing him for that. This woman is horribly picky. Why don't you stop being horribly picky? Maybe, did this really actually what she's doing now is she's projecting, but in the opposite now. So it's men's standards that are horribly... women have horribly low standards. Yeah, she's projecting on other women now and saying they must have horribly low standards these days to get a man. No. You have horribly high standards, and that's why you can't get a man. Oh, she goes on to try and shame men, of course. It doesn't have to be fancy, but at least come up with something. The level of laziness among men is appalling. Well, how lazy are you? Do you plan any of the dates? I thought that you were equal. Oh, you're equal when it's convenient for you. But when it comes to gender roles where men have to do work that women don't want to do, oh, well, then there's no equality. Then that's the man's job. I just got to love the double standards here. No wonder none of them have girlfriends. You know why they don't have girlfriends? Because so many women are like you, and you live in California, and the women there are bitches and hoes. Better to be MGTOW. Number 6, even when I think things are going well, I get ghosted. Yeah, that's because you're delusional broad, okay? You're a delusional broad who tells yourself things are going well, but really you're a horrible person. I love how women, they don't think they have to bring anything to the table. They think they're wonderful and everything, but wonderful by whose standards? You see, they don't know anything about what men want, and they think in their tiny little minds that they're great, and then suddenly the guy doesn't get back to them. But I'm so wonderful. No, you have a vagina. You've been taught all your life that having a vagina is some great thing, and that you're some wonderful catch because you like to go hiking. Ooh, I'm a woman of substance. I go hiking, and I sleep at night in tents to get away from society because I can't stand society, and I hate men. Oh, yes, I hate men, but I'm some great catch. Even when I think things go well, I get ghosted. Sometimes guys actually lead me to believe they're truly interested. Lead you how? How do they lead you? Notice she doesn't say. She doesn't go into any detail. She never goes into detail. Every article I read by this woman, she's just vague and general. No details. Because, of course, if she went into detail, then we could rip it apart, what she's saying, because we would see what nonsense it is. They say lots of pretty things and compliment me. Of course, they want to get laid. And, of course, you don't lay them, and that's why they don't get back to you. You see, I love women like this. It's just great. She had her fun. Now she's ready to settle down. Well, I don't want to settle down with you. I want to have fun. So you're not going to have fun. So let me get this straight. You got screwed over when you were younger because you only wanted the bad boy and you only wanted the guy that was so cool and edgy, but that's the guy that's going to blow you off. And you didn't want the nice guy at all. Now you want the nice guy, but you're going to hold back. You're going to withhold sex. You're not going to be an easy lay anymore. Oh, no, I'm going to have to put in a lot of work and effort. But wait a second. Why should I be punished for the bad actions of other men? So now I'm not going to get any of your poon. You're going to withhold the poon, and you're going to try to be Miss Good Girl now, even though you spent 20-plus years riding the cock carousel, thinking you're all that in a bag of chips. And now there ain't no bag of chips, and you ain't all that. You may be a 4 on the sexual marketplace value scale, and you think you're so hot that you can withhold sex from me and I have to put in all this work because now you want to settle down. I'm done having fun. I want to settle down now. don't want to settle down. I want to have fun. I want to have fun. If you're not going to give me fun, I'm going to get with somebody else. They state their excitement to spend time with me. Funny enough, when it comes down to actually jumping in, they suddenly make excuses and disappear. What does that mean, jumping in? What does that mean, jumping in? Well, I'm going to translate it for you since she doesn't want to, because then you'd be able to actually, if you have half a brain, figure it out for yourself. When she says jumping in, she means A, either she slept with the guy and now she wants a commitment, and he says bye-bye because he don't want a commitment with you because you're a cunt. You're an ugly-ass bitch who's a cunt that treats men badly and overvalues herself. Or 2, you're demanding some kind of commitment, or you're making him jump through a bunch of hoops before he gets that poon, and he says, meh, you're too difficult, I can get better. And she already said this before. Men think I'm a huge pain in the ass. Right, because you're trying to make them jump through hoops. They suddenly make excuses to disappear. What kind of world do I live in where guys are too afraid to actually meet in person? It's bizarre. Meet in person? So now she's conflicting things. So first of all, what are you talking about here? If they state their excitement to spend time with you, and they compliment you, and you believe they're truly interested, and jumping in, what does she mean by jumping in? If you've never met them, so she's mixing things up. So first she's mixing things up because it sounds like she's talking about people she admit, and then they disappear. Or you can't get ghosted by somebody you've never met, okay? So I believe she's mixing things up here, talking about a mix of guys she's met who ghosted her, and now she's making reference basically to guys she's never met to kind of make guys look bad. Oh, guys I've never met in person are actually afraid to meet me. I'd be afraid to meet you, honey. You're a cunt. I wouldn't want to meet you at all. Number 7, I get tossed aside so frequently that it's messing with my head. Yeah, you said this one already. I had to delete all the dating apps. I know that I'm a wonderful I love it! She's basically deluding herself. I had to delete all the dating apps. I know I'm a wonderful woman, a great girlfriend. How do you know that? Have you ever been girlfriend to yourself as a man? This is a very interesting thing about women. They've never dated another woman, but they know what a great girlfriend and a wonderful woman is from a man's point of view. Oh, no, that's right. They know what they think a wonderful woman and a great girlfriend is from a woman's point of view. And God damn it, why don't those guys have the same view of what a great girlfriend and a wonderful woman is? And, of course, she continues to think that men think and want the same things that a woman does, or she continues to believe that's how it should be. Hey, honey, I got news for you. The world does not comport itself to your ideals. You believe that men should want this and that and this, but they don't. Stop trying to shoehorn a square peg into a round hole. You don't decide what men want. Why don't you come live in the real world? Then maybe you'll get a date. And by the way, you thinking you're a wonderful woman and a great girlfriend doesn't make you so. It's just you trying to convince yourself that you are not the problem. But the callous disregard of men online made me question my own self-worth. Yeah, men online are just so callous because they want to get laid. They want to get laid. And by the way, honey, no man gives a damn what you have to say until he's had sex with you. Why don't you try sleeping with some guys, and then some of them might actually be interested in dating you if you're worth a damn. That's how men work. She didn't seem to get that. Now, that's how men work. And notice that in the past she had no problem with that. She had no problem with that. Notice how she said if she knew things were going to be like this, she would have got a man locked down. In the past, she slept with a guy almost immediately. Oh, yeah, I can get guys left and right. I'm sleeping with them left and right. But now they don't want her. So now she's being picky, and she's not giving sex anymore. And she thinks she's still going to get a man. Honey, the only reason you got men before was because you were semi-hot, and you were willing to give out the poon because you were riding the cock carousel. But now you're withholding the sex because you want to settle down, and you're done having fun. Well, guess what? Men are never done having fun. And if you're not giving out the poon, we don't want anything to do with you. And it was always that way. And she doesn't realize that. It was always that way, honey. Yeah, she's an idiot. Oh, yeah, we're so callous. I started thinking that maybe there's something really wrong with me. Oh, well, you should have stuck with that thought. And maybe you would have got some self-awareness and followed that thought to the ultimate conclusion that there is something wrong with you. Really wrong with me that these guys find me too intimidating. You're such an idiot. You're so stupid. We are men. We could snap you like a motherfucking twig, bitch. Okay? Intimidated by your tiny little ass? Are you kidding me? We're not intimidated by you. That's what women tell themselves to comfort themselves because they can't face the truth. That we don't want you because you're old, ugly, and used up, and your vagina is stretched out like an old leather bag. And ambitious for them. Yeah, you're what, a cocktail waitress? A bartender or something? A failed actress? And you're intimidating? I love it. In reality, I can't change the fact that they're so insecure. No, you are insecure, honey. You are insecure. Projecting again, aren't we? Number 8, I like who I am, but it seems most guys do. This is like fat women are the most self-confident, least insecure women in the world. They feel great about themselves. Of course, if they didn't, they wouldn't be fat. I'm tired of men who say one thing and then either go back out of it, either back out of it or act completely the opposite. 1 minute, I'm the coolest, most genuine, interesting, grounded woman they've ever met. The next, I'm too much for them, and they feel that I deserve better than them. Are they actually telling you that, honey? Are they actually telling you that? Or if any guy has ever told you that, did you ever stop to think maybe he's just telling you what you want to hear so he can get the hell out of there without having some kind of argument or fight or nasty negative scene? Did you ever stop to think that? No, he didn't stop to think that. Just be honest and quit with the lame cop-outs. I like who I am, but this pattern makes me feel bad. So it's not really the case that men are intimidated by you. It's just a lame cop-out. So she's actually admitting that without even realizing she's admitting it, that she knows those are lame cop-outs and they're really opting out because they don't like her because she has a horrible personality. Number 9, I try not to take rejection personally, but I have feelings, of course. You're a woman. You can't take rejection. You're a wimp. We get it. You're a weakling, but you're equal to us. Yeah, okay, honey. If you were equal to us, you wouldn't give a damn if you got rejection and you move on to the next guy. And you certainly wouldn't write whole articles bitching and moaning about it. I do try to remember that because it's all online, people don't treat me like a real live person. Well, she's talking about online dating. You don't get it, honey. And by the way, she doesn't seem to get anything. All men want to get laid. You didn't have a problem with it while you were hot because you saw it as your prerogative to hop from as many guys as possible. And you had the power, so you had no problem with that, just bebopping from guy to guy and going out to bars and saying, tag, you're it, and bagging that guy. Now you have a problem with it because the guys don't want to bang you anymore. Plus, you're stupidly withholding sex, thinking that you've now become some kind of valuable commodity and you're going to make men work for that ultimate end goal that is your golden, stretched out coos. Yeah, that's a real good strategy. Withhold sex, be less promiscuous, even though that's what we want, and you've got to sleep with a guy before he's going to listen to you and even consider you as a relationship material. And you're old. And you become more picky. I love it. She's so idiotic and stupid. It's great. Oh, Lord. Unbelievable. It's easy to swipe left or flake out or disregard another human being like they don't exist. I try not to make it about me, but when it happens over and over again, I do feel hurt. Well, boo-dee-dee-hoo-hoo for you. You spent 20 years blowing off guys and treating them like crap, and now you want the nice guy to suddenly be interested in you. Good luck, baby. That nice guy can now get 20-year-olds. I'm a sensitive being, whether I like it or not. That's why I decided I'm better off not trying to date at all. Yeah, if you check this chick's channel out, and her channel name is Sex of the Valley. and I'm really loath to give this woman any views, since she's probably living off of tips. But it's so amusing and hilarious. I think you need to watch it to put everything in the context, because she's constantly contradicting herself. She says, she tries not to date, and then she goes a month or two without dating, and I guess she gets horny or something and wants a male attention, something like that. So she goes right back out to dating again. People say women don't need men. Yeah, women say that, but you do. You can't stay away from us. Number 10. It makes me feel small and invisible to be passed over so frequently. Ooh-hoo-hoo-hoo. Ooh-hoo-hoo-hoo. Yeah, that's because, honey, now you're feeling the slightest bit what it feels like to be a man. And you don't like it. Well, suck it up, baby. I've gotten to the point where I don't even know how to talk to men anymore. Good. I hope you stay alone and miserable, because any guy that gets with you is going to have a horrible time, because you're a horrible, horrible woman. I'm so afraid I'll think the wrong thing or show interest only to be dismissed yet again. Wonderful! Perfect! Now you're having all these neuroses. It's great, isn't it? A woman gets a small taste of what it's like to be a man, and she starts to become this neurotic mess. She gets a small taste of what gender equality is actually like. She's getting rejected a lot. Men don't want her. She's wondering what's wrong with her. She used to be able to get men. Now she can't, and all of a sudden, it's messing with her head. Yeah, you're seeing what it's like to be a man, honey, and you can't take it. Your tiny, pathetic little mind that you think is so awesome and strong can't handle it. You become a neurotic mess just because a few men have dumped you or rejected you. Ooh, yeah, but you're so strong and wonderful. It seems easier to ignore them altogether. I thought I could do this and wait for a guy to really try to win me over. I love it! Win you over! Didn't I just say earlier that was exactly what she was demanding? That she's actually put a higher price on her poon. She's raised the price from $50 to $100, while the quality has dropped significantly, and she's gone from a 7 to a 4. I love it! And she's wondering why she can't get a man. Yeah, I'm done having my fun. I'm done having fun. I'm ready to settle down. I just raised the price on my poon by double. Geez, why can't I get a man? What if you're the problem, bitch? Did you stop to think that? At the same time that your sexual marketplace value has plummeted almost half, you've doubled the price of your poon, and now you're demanding an even higher entry fee before you'll give it up. And you're wondering why? Nobody wants you. Oh, yeah, we got to really try to win you over. Yeah, you're because you're 20 years old again, and you're this hot piece of ass, this hot 7 with a tight ass and a beautiful face and this great body and these perky breasts that ain't sagging down to your waist. Yeah, but that's the image she still has in her head. She thinks she's still a 7. You are a 4, baby, at best. Maybe 3.5. I bet you're 3.5 in the morning when you wake up. And you're demanding that we win you over? Why don't you do some work to win us over, bitch? Then maybe you'll actually get a man. Oh, no. No. I'll never do any work to get a man. I'm too hot. I'm all that in a bag of chips. You gotta work to get me. I'm so great. Meanwhile, there's 9s and 10s running around out there that we actually have to work our asses off to get, and we will work our asses off to get because she's a 9 or a fucking 10, and you think as a 4 that somebody's going to work and take any effort to get you? What planet are you living on? You're living in fantasy land, in some kind of romance novel. Ay. I thought I could do this and wait for a guy to really try and win me over. At 43? Are you kidding? But no one is trying. Yeah, no one is trying. And sometimes I feel like the most unappealing woman alive. You know what? You're not the most unappealing, but at 43, riding the cock carousel. This woman, by the way, she watched Sex and the City, and she devoured it, and she lived it. As of 3 years ago, she was riding the cock carousel. So for 20 plus years, this woman, I guarantee you, she has slept with over 100 men. Probably 200 men. She slept with so many men that coos is stretched out. It's like tossing a hot dog down a hallway. You hear echoes when that thing hits the floor. I love it. At number 11, I almost feel like I'm losing my sanity. Look at this. So women are so tough. They're so strong. They're so equal to men. And she's so strong and intimidating that a few guys reject her and she's losing her sanity. Unbelievable. It's hard to maintain a sense of self and everything. Yeah, that sense of self. This is it, guys. So women, they don't want to be objectified. Oh, don't treat me like a sex object. I'm more than a sex object. And then a few guys reject her, and her whole sense of self is gone. So her sense of who she is revolves around her value as a sexual object. But at the same time, don't objectify me. She's saying right here, her entire sense of self revolves around her sexual marketplace value and her sexual identity. And once she doesn't have that, she has nothing. But she thinks she brings something to the table when all she brings to the table is sex. It's hard to maintain a sense of self when everything that's happening hints to the contrary. I know that I'm not being ridiculous in asking for common decency. You haven't at one point told us what you think is common decency. Because you know it's unrealistic expectations, and you know that the people reading would basically criticize you for your unrealistic expectations. But then the evil little voice in my head whispers, what if you're crazy? Did you ever stop to think that little voice is reality? Is your inner true self speaking to you? What if you're really the problem? Yes, you stupid cunt! Wake the fuck up! 3.5 billion men are not the motherfucking problem. It's you dumb bitch. It's always you. It's been you. It's feminism, you dumb cunt. Why don't you get that? Why don't you understand that it's feminism? I have to tell it to shut up so I don't lose my mind. Boy, oh boy, she's got voices speaking in her head. She's got contrary arguments going on. You're the problem. No, I'm not the problem. Shut up, you fucking inner voice. You shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear that. I want to continue to live in fantasy land. God damn you. What are you, my fucking conscience, my inner voice? Shut the fuck up. I want to continue to delude myself, god damn it. She'll lose her mind. Yeah, this is what's intimidating us. I love my life, but being dismissed by men puts a damper on it. Yeah, you can't get the cock anymore, and you can't get the constant validation. Oh, but you're so strong and independent. It's easier to ignore dudes altogether than to allow them to cast a shadow over my otherwise awesome life. Yeah, and in another month, she'll be trying to date men again. Okay? She can't do without them. Watch her channel, you'll see. I'm very happy, except when it comes to love. You're not happy. You're a miserable cunt. Has anybody ever watched this bitch? She's on the edge of tears half the time she's making her videos. All she's doing when she says she's very happy is telling herself, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy. You know, like a fucking mantra, so she hopes it'll come true, like some kind of a self-hypnosis thing. That if you tell yourself you're happy enough, it'll be reality. She's a leftist. She's a feminist. These people love critical theory. Just say the same thing again and again until people believe it. Well, she's doing the same thing with herself. I'm going to tell myself again and again and again I'm happy until I believe it. Oh, and I'm very happy. Yeah, right, bitch. Except when it comes to love, it definitely affects me sometimes. I do want romance in my life. Hey, bitch. Why don't you try lowering your standards, and then you might get romance. Oh, no, I can't lower my standards. I never lower my standards. Men are scum. Men are pigs. Men are evil scumbags. Boy, why can't I find a man? Though I don't need it. Yeah, you do, honey. That's the problem. You do. It's tough to keep reminding myself how good I have it, even though men are constantly blowing me off. Yeah, how good you have it. Have you seen this woman's apartment? I mean, go watch her videos and look at her apartment. It looks like she lives in a fucking closet. This is another one of these loser, failed actress broads who got to the age of 43 and it has basically ridden the cock carousel, and she's had her fun, and she's played at being a writer, and she's only gotten stuff published in these online rags, and only then because she's a woman with the right political and ideological view, because her writing is crap. I'm telling you right now, Amy Horton, your writing sucks. You're a crappy writer. And at 43, all she does is write articles that are man-hating and bemoaning her single existence. Here we go. Amy Horton, a former actress who has always loved the art of the written word. Yeah. I love food, but that doesn't mean I can be a chef. Amy is excited to be here sharing her story. She hopes they resonate with you, or at the very least, make you chuckle a bit. Yeah. Women are real funny. Yeah, this woman's funny, all right, but in a very sad way. I'm laughing at her. She just completed her first novel. Oh, God. Oh, my God. And has also contributed to Elite Daily, Dirty and 30, and the Indie Chicks. Dirty and 30? You mean Dirty and 40? So that is the redhead again. Still delusional, still in denial, still is totally clueless about why she's single, even though in every article she writes, she seems to project the very reasons why she has no man, and she doesn't even realize it. This is modern day women, guys. Whether they be a 1 or a 10, they're all like this. They are all like that. AWOLT until the end. I am the MGTOW philosopher, and I wish you a good day. Take care.